If you're a software engineer or an aspiring software engineer, here is a video of a breakdown of what software engineering is all about, what you can become after studying software engineering, the pros and cons of becoming a software engineer, what to do next after you become a software engineer, and also where you can seek and find jobs after you study software engineering. To get a deep dive, grab a cup of coffee and let's get deep into what software engineering is all about. A quick talk about me. I am Juven Carlson and I have been into software engineering for the past 4 years. I have worked on multiple products and I've worked with over 5 companies in my country, and also I am in view of building software products that will actually revolutionize the way we do things and perform tasks throughout the domain. I've built multiple products based on me or to help me do things better, and I've also helped to build many businesses online with the help of building their softwares or website. Alright, so what is software engineering and what can you actually do after you study software engineering or as a software developer, and how long can it take you to become a software engineer? Alright, so here is the myth of software engineering. Software engineering is simply the art of building softwares and products that runs over the internet. So if you're someone who is aspired to build website applications and other services that run over the internet, then software engineering should actually be where you go to. Now, who can you become after you study software engineering or in the process of studying software engineering? Software engineering is actually divided into multiple career paths, and each of these career paths has its own pros and cons and the things you can actually learn. Coming first on the list we have is software development. If you want to be a software engineer, you can either be in the field of developing softwares for the market, and in the field of software development there are actually 2 parties that are involved. We have the front-end developer and we have the back-end developer. The front-end developer is specialized on developing what you actually see and interact with on any software product. It could either be designing the interface of a software, buttons, and the layout structure. And also we have the back-end developer, which focuses mostly on the logic behind the software or the system, and also focuses on building API calls between the database and the front end, and also focuses on integrating the database to actual front end which has been built by the front end developer. You could be a full stack developer, which means you actually have both front end skills and back end skills all combined, and with that you can actually build softwares that actually resonate. So getting into software engineering, you could either choose to be a software developer. Second on the list we have is system design. In the field of software engineering, you could learn how to design systems only. Being a system designer is one of the most pro tips and pro features of someone who is an aspiring designer or engineer, because before any system is actually designed or built, you must first of all sit down to understand the architecture of the system and how the system will function, how input and output will be processed, and vice versa. So learning how to do system design will actually enable you to be able to understand and model how software system will actually operate, and also the end result of building a specific software. For you to get deeper into this, you can study things like UI UX design to be able to understand how experience and interfaces can drive better experience on software products. Also with this, you can learn how to create information architecture for specific systems, in which for this will help and guide users on how to move from one page to another, and also understand the hierarchy in terms of the pages to which they are found. Coming third on the list we have is system testing and debugging. You could be an engineer who is specialized only on testing systems that have already been built, and also debugging softwares to actually see if they have flaws in them. Most of this is always done by people who study mostly cybersecurity to be able to understand how to penetrate the systems, test the systems to make sure that the underlying code base that is actually powering up most of these softwares is actually built purely with less effects of actually having vulnerabilities. You could actually study cybersecurity, DevOps engineer, and become a very good software engineer in this aspect, where you'll be prone to test softwares and debug code to be able to understand where there are vulnerabilities and propose solutions to these vulnerabilities. Coming fourth we have is software maintenance. Most people don't always focus mostly on actually building the software, but they focus mostly on actually maintaining the software. If you're an aspiring software engineer, you could actually just learn how to understand the code base of a specific system, how to maintain that particular system through a debugging process, and that is it. So this gives you less stress in terms of development as your focus is mostly on how to maintain and manage the finished software. This gives you less stress, and with all this, you can actually manage multiple softwares at once or even a single software at a time. You could get hired by companies that focuses on most of these softwares. Example could be something like you could be a WordPress developer. Understanding how WordPress operates and just managing and maintaining WordPress websites will go a long way in this kind of career path. So you could actually learn how to manage systems, and that is it about you, and you are already a software engineer. Coming fifth on the list we have is collaboration and teamwork. Building a product requires many people coming together to actually build and formulate everything to the beginning. If you take an aspect from building a house, you discover that multiple people actually interact in building a specific house to completion, like the designers that design the architecture of the house, the people that come in as a contractor to actually build the house from beginning to the end, the people who come in as carpenters to roof the house, people who paint, and others. Building a software product is similar to building a house. You cannot just do it alone because you will require multiple people. So, as a software engineer, you could specialize in just team management. Understanding how to manage teams and convey communication smoothly between the team and the stakeholders of a specific project would be of high priority as a team manager. Being a team manager, you ought to have the capabilities and the possibilities to understand each and every one, being able to create and conduct backlogs of projects and flaws in the system. So you could either be a team manager in the field of software engineering. Coming last on the list, we have security engineers. These are people who are specialized mostly on penetrating the software and making sure that the software is actually very secured from hackers and anybody who might try to invade the software to actually destroy it. You could learn how to scan softwares that are already built, understand code, and also debug to see where there are vulnerabilities to which attacks can easily be made and adjust them. With respect to this, you are already a software engineer. So these are the different types of careers you can be as a software engineer, and where can you actually learn these specific skills of a software engineer? The number one top website I will always have to recommend everybody to is FreeCodeCamp. FreeCodeCamp has actually been one of the most top websites that help people skyrocket their skills from beginning actually to their career path, and it can take you as short as 6 months to become a software engineer if you want to go the route of being a self-taught software engineer. You could focus mostly also on a longer route on going to school, getting a degree in the field of software engineering, which is also advisable because with that you will learn the different processes that occurs while building a software, and in turn you have more time to actually brainstorm everything and bring your ideas to life. Where can you go to right now to learn any of the above mentioned software engineering skills? The first thing I want you to understand is simple. It is not easy to become a software engineer. It takes a lot of time and practice to actually get from beginner to an expert in this field, or starting to build products that can actually convey and sell at higher rates, or land a job that will be able to pay you 6 figures in this field. So you actually have to put in a lot of work to be able to get to that particular point that you want to get to. First thing and foremost, when you choose a specific career path of being as a software engineer, the first thing you need to do is simple. Run over to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT, how can I become a software engineer in this particular domain within the next 6 months? Ask AI to actually give you learning curves. Just create a prompt for the AI to give you a career path or learning curve to which you can actually study to become that particular engineer within a specific duration of time. After AI gives you this, you can take it module by module, run over to websites such as FreeCodeCamp, W3 Schools, and other websites that can actually teach you software engineering. Even YouTube works best. Search all of these modules and watch videos or read articles related to this particular domain, and I assure you in 6 months you can actually become a software engineer. If you want to go the route of actually making things more easy, you could either purchase a course from someone who have created a course already, or you could simply attend a bootcamp to become a software engineer that you envision on becoming. But what next should you do? Now, as a software engineer, the one famous thing that you have to do to prove your proficiency is build as many products as possible. This is where most people fail in becoming software engineers, and it actually affects you while searching for jobs, because most often you want to be able to showcase to recruiters what you have done and the things you are capable of doing. So before you are able to showcase this, you must present projects, not just any kind of projects that count. You must present projects that actually showcase your expertise to creative thinking and constructive development. Also, be able to write clean and maintainable code, and also always follow the KISS principle to actually build better software, which means keep it simple. As an engineer, understand that keeping everything simple throughout your learning process, development process, and integration process make things more easy for you to actually build better products. So keeping everything simple will make the work more easy for you and also grant you a greater opening whenever you are open to looking for jobs. And lastly, where do you get jobs or how do you find jobs as a software engineer? Now, being a software engineer or being in the engineering domain, there are two platforms to which you can always perform your job search in. I will give you guys the ones that I actually use most often to land most of my jobs or any offers I've ever had. The first and foremost on the list is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the go-to platform to which, if you actually want to be an aspiring software engineer or find a job in whatever domain you're looking for, visit LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, don't just visit LinkedIn doing nothing. Be able to connect with great minds and post things that are related to the kind of projects you are currently working on and projects you have worked on. This will help boost your proficiency in turn as you are creating more connections. You see recruiters looking for people to actually recruit to work or join their companies, and in turn you might get hired on this. Secondly, use X, or formerly known as Twitter. X is simply a platform where most people like sharing their process and progress in terms of what they are building. You could also share your process and progress in terms of what you're currently building, and in turn, companies might see you and turn to recruit you. Most companies always post offers on some of these platforms, and you can in turn view those offers and apply for them. The third thing you need to be able to prepare yourself for the job market is getting a portfolio ready. A portfolio is simply a simple website that showcases all the projects you have currently worked on or the big projects you think that recruiters might be looking at to actually recruit you. So having a portfolio will be a great idea for you to actually work on a project. If you're looking for where to actually host your website as a web designer or a software engineer or an application developer, then right over to Unicorn Fast Host, which is one of the most reliable hosting service providers out there. On Unicorn Fast Host, you could purchase your domain and get hosting, which varies from shared hosting, developer hosting to WordPress hosting for all your websites and web projects. So check out Unicorn Fast Host. Click the link on my bio to have 50% discount on every domain name that you actually purchase today. Rounding up, this is actually the general overview of who you are or what you can become as a software engineer, where to learn to become a software engineer, what next to do as a software engineer, and also how you can find jobs as a software engineer. If this video helped you, don't forget to like, follow, and share to any of your friends you know that actually need this to get started with their development career. Subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell to get notified whenever we drop a new video, and without further ado, catch you guys on the next one.